Hi guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my AFL Fantasy Round 2 review of my team, and it was a pretty disappointing round as I ended up only scoring 859, which was a round 2 rank of 82,000 and a overall rank of 50,000, but hopefully I guess I can make up for my mistakes with my bench and my captain and pick up, I guess, that was 120 points lost, and hopefully that really shows where I went wrong, and that's probably another 50,000 ranks difference in the round rank, and I'd be up around 24,000, which isn't the end of the world. So now I'll go over to my screen here, and you can see what I was talking about here. Team value of 15.63 million, which isn't the worst. And that's gone up dramatically this round, and hopefully it goes up dramatically next round as well. So I had Doherty, and he just had an off night, but he's averaging 95, and he's a player and he hasn't even had a good game. He's had an average game of 110 and a below average game of 79, and he has the run of fixtures here where he should be going 120-ish in that fixture run, and that should really help him pick up and sort of solidify him as a D1, D2 player for the year. He should be D1, but I mean, Dacos is going nuts at the moment, so maybe Dacos takes up that reign at the end of the season, but Doherty should still be top 2 defender, as there hasn't really been any other defender. If we look here at average, that I've really liked, like Ryan just had that ridiculous game, and he should slide down a little bit. Dacos, as I've been saying, has been pretty consistent. Cox had the ridiculous game and sliding. Sicily had a ridiculous game and started to slide against the Swans. Redmond's been pretty consistent. And then you have Aiden Core and Crozier, one gamers. Sinclair is averaging 98, but this had 40 points in like the last 2 quarters of those games, so he's really not helping. So yeah, he's still averaging 95, which is around here. And he's had a bad game and a average game compared to Will Day's had two pretty good games. Caleb Daniels had a good game and an average game, and Dawson's had pretty average. So I think he's on course still to be that D1, D2, so that's a really good option. Duggan, I cannot handle him just not getting the ball consistently enough. He had 14 disposals and 8 marks. Literally just needs to get 20 disposals and 10 marks, and he's there, because he'd get 50 points in kicks and 30 in marks, which would get him up to 80. 5 or 6 handballs would get him to 90 odd, and then he'd just have to have 3 or 4 tackles a game, and that would get him up to the 100-point mark, but it's not to be. Andy McGrath's doing something similar, but I'd like his marks to improve up to the 8 or 9 range, and I think that would really help his score. But we'll see with who does he have now. He's got St Kilda, who he should really score well against as a backman, as they seem to like to, let the pressure be flooded onto them and kick on the counter. So, and then he has GWS, where he could do anything, and then Melbourne, where he should with the way Melbourne are playing at the moment, he could do anything, and it's at Adelaide Oval. And then the MCG, where he should do pretty well, being a stretch ball distributor. Then Constable had a really good output this game, and he also kicked a lot better. He kicked it, I think, 74% or so, which is a lot better, and that should help him keep his spot over Uland, who just did nothing. And then Jinby was a really good player this round. Still going to be a really good player, averaging 82. And yeah, he's just very, very consistent, getting the midfield minutes that we need out of him. And then Ulam was just a mistake. I sort of went on the, just sort of thought that he would be better rather than just going with other people with the rookies. So yeah, that was a mistake, costing me 30 odd points here. And then I had the mistake of, well, the thing is, even, that was just a mistake, and that would have cost me, I think, 58 points, and it was around 58 points in the end between, overall between 60 odd points between Philippou and Ulam mistakes. Then we go on to, I'm really happy with these rookies making cash. Then you go on to Petrarca, 90, just again, pretty disappointing. He got 65 before the lights went out and then came out pretty strong in the last quarter, but, you know, I can't be having premium scoring 90. I mean, he's averaging 100, but I need him to be averaging that 105 sort of range, which will help him go up in price. I really need a big score from him this week against the Swans, which he could do because the Swans seem to be leaking centre clearances at the moment pretty consistently to both teams. I think they lost it even to the Hawks. So I think Petrarca and Oliver should do really well against them. It's just, I don't know if I think the Swans sort of backman will provide the run that they need to be able to overrun Melbourne. But we'll see. And then you have Bont here. I need him to have a huge game against Brisbane. I think he could easily put up a big score, and hopefully that'll be enough for him to be able to jump back up into the 100 average or so. I just need a 120 out of him, to be honest, and hopefully he gets that. He's really good, and I hope because they're sort of almost playing for their season this week, the Dogs, that against Brisbane he's in the contest in the first 3 quarters, gets to 80 like he has been, and then actually kicks on in the last quarter rather than just pulling up stumps because the game's dead and they've already lost, which has happened back-to-back weeks. And then you have Tom Green here, who did score 90 and averaging 109. I just need him to score another 90 or 100 here. Just keep the cash flowing, I guess. He's done really well so far and just got to keep it up. And then Dom Sheed's been pretty disappointing, to be honest, as a mid-pricer. I wish I'd gone Setterfield. If I'd started Setterfield here, it would have been I would have done pretty well here. And yeah, so that's just a mistake. And that's probably cost me, a good 100 or so points so far. So that's a mistake. And yeah, then you got Warple, who I brought in and yeah, did the job needed. Got 42k out of him. Hopefully another 40, 50, hopefully another 70k. So I end up making a good 130k out of Warple and then move him on for a premium. Ashcroft is just starting to gain cash quite quickly now. And he'll be a hold to around 6 or 7 probably, and then look and check there if he's still gaining price. Mackenzie probably is going to be one of the first guys to flip, but I thought he didn't get the role that we really wanted because I think the Hawks knew the only way that they had a chance against the Swans, which they didn't in the end, was to win the midfield battle, even though they won it by like 8 or 9. The centre clearances, because Mackenzie wasn't in there, they went for the bigger bodies. Then yeah, they just got beaten around the outside basically and through the middle, outside of the centre clearances. And yeah, so Mackenzie should come back in next week. They play North, and I expect him to put up a big score, probably 80, 85 would be a pretty good score, but we'll see. And then Philippou was pretty disappointing, having 3 goals only for 42 points and averaging 48. He's be off field and potentially out of my side soon. And we're probably going to have to wait for him to get or he'll be on the bench for a while because we're going to have to wait for him to have the forwards back in, because then he can transfer to the wing or the midfield or even the high half forward role. And then that gets him more centre mid-time. And hopefully that'll help him increase his score and his price. Ollie Hollands looked really good, and he plays GWS at Giants Stadium, and he should be able to run on the wings all day there, and it's a little bit smaller ground, so it should help him be able to, I guess, get the ball a little bit more. As they did kick to him a lot more. Like, look at his match stats. He got the ball 20 times instead of 11, and I thought he was a lot cleaner with the ball, so that's better. And then you got Noah Long here, 34. He's a good 200k guy, and he'll probably just turn into a loophole at the moment because I don't have any loopholes, and I'm just hoping someone turns into a loophole out of him, Uland and Chesser. So that's basically all the midfield done. Move on to the rucks. Marshall did amazing. He started off really slow, as I talked about in my review of the Saints game. He was on 40 or so at halftime, but then huge second half brought him up. Witts just struggled against the double ruck of Essendon. So I just need to see, who does Essendon play? Whoopsie, that's not the right search for it. And here we go. They play St Kilda, so no captaincy on Marshall this week. Who do they play the next week? I'm hoping they play the Bulldogs sometime soon. They don't. Okay. They play the Bulldogs late. Great. So, yeah, I don't like the Essendon ruck setup at the moment that for the opposition scoring, so that really sucked with Wits, but lucky it only cost me like 6 points because I would have gone to green here. And yeah, I would have got 84 out of Wits and 90 out of green, which is 180 out of green, which is what's that, 264, and instead I got 258 out of those two, so yeah, 6 points. And then huge out of Samson Ryan to get 57. He should be in the side next week against Collingwood, and with Collingwood, he should be able to kick a couple of goals. Honestly, with the way that they defend tall forwards, it seems like at the moment. Do I have any Collingwood players? So, so look at this. I just want to see their match stats. Against Geelong, I'm pretty sure Jeremy Cameron kicked 3 or 4, and against Port, Charlie Dixon kicked, I think it was 3 or 4. So, yeah, I think Samson Ryan should be on if he plays to kick another couple. And if he doesn't play, then do I have a... I don't know who I have my vice captaincy on at the moment. It might actually be on Dacos at the moment, but it might turn into a VC on Bontempelli if Samson Ryan is named out, and then I'll be able to use the option if Bontempelli does well to link in Samson Ryan on Wits, but it will most likely turn into a Chesser, Orland, or Noah Long loophole, because I think they will be out. So in my forward line, I have Josh Dunkley, 97, averaging 87, just not good enough at the moment, but he'll pick it up, I guess, in the end, and I think he'll have a big game now because he kind of needs it with, what are they? They're 0-2, so, oh no, they actually won in the end, so they're 1-1 against Western Bulldogs, but they need to get up the table, so I think he'll do really well in these two games. One at Marvel away from home and one at the Gabba. They really need to go strong against Collingwood in a couple of weeks' time, so I think he'll turn it up a gear. Taranto's been really good, averaging 115, and he plays Collingwood this week, so I think he'll go huge. As I need to look at the score breakdown, but I'm pretty sure that Collingwood give up pretty big numbers to midfielders, so again, in the opposition, so yeah, that's going to be pretty good. And then so Taranto at 108 is pretty good. Rosie, 81, really struggled against, was it against Collingwood? Yeah, he struggled against Collingwood as a midfielder, but he did have a concussion test, which took out, I guess, an eighth of his game time already, just with the 15 minutes. So, yeah, if he had the 15 minutes back, and he would score around 90-odd, and that's pretty good for him at the moment, being owned 60%. Then Goulden somehow... he just nonchalantly got his way up to 104, averaging 102. He looks like one of the picks for the forward line, and yeah, so he might even turn into the F2, F3 type thing at the moment, as he's just, going crazy. Tanner Bruin failed again, but yeah, so he'll be on my bench instead of... probably this week, as I need to trade out other guys at the moment I need to get to Setterfield and Dacos, so Bruin survives a week, so hopefully Chandler and Bruin, so who plays first? Chandler and Bruin, they both play interlocking, so that's going to be a bad one. So that's going to be pretty bad. Freo West Coast, so I will be able to do a Noah Long here, Noah Long on the forward line. And if, I guess, we're going to have to see at halftime if Chandler or Bruin's doing, is it Chandler plays first? No, Bruin plays first, so Bruin will be on the bench here. If Bruin's at like 60 at halftime or something like that, then I'll chuck in the emergency on Noah Long. Hopefully he's out, and then that'll help me get the points. But if Noah Long isn't out, I'm probably going to have to back in Chandler over Bruin, as Bruin He might even get dropped, to be honest, but against Gold Coast, he should be able to do really well up there at Heritage Bank. And then you have Sheasel here, who's just been amazing. The only thing I'm contemplating with him is, does he go down back or does he go up forward? Or does he stay up forward? Basically, that's the only thing I'm contemplating, because if he goes down back, then I effectively have my my team for a while, my backline for a while, until it's set for Constable. If he stays up forward, then it's only Tanner Bruin I've got to fix there, and I've only got to fix this this spot here. D4, and then D6 will come after these rookies slowly get traded out, etc. And then you have Chandler here making cash, Davey making cash, and Chesler making a little bit of cash, but not much. So yeah, that's basically the team that I had at the for round 2, and it was, yeah, a pretty bad round, but I know I can do better. So before I leave, remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yeah, watch all my game reviews from the round. There'll be a playlist in the corner, and then yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks guys, goodbye.